What is up guys, Andy Forest Team Runner here and welcome back to the last big workout before the Severn Bridge 10k. So welcome back to another training video, and today, as I said in the intro, is the final big workout before the Severn Bridge 10k in just over 10 days time, 10 or 11 days time. So this is phase 2 of my Brecon Beacons mountain marathon training. This is just a 2-week blip where we're going to be doing less elevation, a bit of road stuff or a couple of road workouts just to tune ourselves up and see what road shape we are in for this upcoming 10k. We're in the Endorphin Pros today. A new ritual that I've had since 2020 is to basically do my last big workout in the race shoes that we're going to be using on race day. The Endorphin Pros are the race shoe of choice for me. I prefer these to the Next Percent over the 5 and 10k distance. I'm not sure on the half marathon yet. The Next Percent did great over the half marathon, but these are so light, poppy, snappy. That's exactly what I want over a 5 and 10k distance. So today the goal is simply this: 8 by 1k with 90 seconds recovery. I've got 12 by a k on my watch from the previous half marathon workout, but we're just doing 8 of them. So we're going to be doing that in the scorching heat already this morning, getting this done. We've had 2 days off because we've been on holiday. We'll see how we fare. Goals time wise, really I guess just to hit the 1k times we were hitting previously in the half marathon tune-up block, which is in and around the 325s to 334s, because that equates to around 525 to 540 pace. So if I sit in that range somewhere and see how we do after 2 days of junk food on holiday, then we're on to a bit of a winner. So we'll see how we get on today. I'm going to take you along with me on the journey, first person perspective, get these done, and then at the end we'll talk about the results and how we're feeling leading in to this race. Okay, first out and back done. I did not hold back. 323, 325. That is far quicker than I normally do. 325 is normally the quickest I go downhill, and 329 is quickest uphill. So let's hope we haven't overcooked it again. Oh boy, this is tough. 321 going down, so that's quicker. 327 coming back up, so that's slower. Bit of traffic dodging on that fourth one though, so we'll see if the decline has started or it was just me jumping off and on the pavement that caused that. Oh, wind's picking up, not good. Okay, rep 5 and 6 done. 325 on the way down, which is the slowest so far. 326 on the way back up. So overall, Really, really happy with the way up. Not so happy with the way down. Hopefully we haven't overcooked it. All done. 324 down, 325 up. Happy with that. We were on the verge of overcooking that, but rep 6 and 7 I kind of got under control a little bit, and we just hung on for the last 2. So overall, that is way quicker than I anticipated. Much better reps. Shoes felt great. Let's go back and talk about it. So there we go, 8x1k done and dusted in the Saucony Endorphin Pro. Yes, breaking out the racing shoe for next weekend. Obviously today was all about getting the work done. I want to just very quickly say that that is the quickest road repetitions I've done of 1k reps on the road ever. I mean, I've done quicker on the track, but on the road, especially on the industrial estate we have around here, which is a flipping nightmare, that was fantastic. Completely blew expectations out of the water. And I think the one thing that surprised me more than anything is this 3 weeks worth of mountain marathon training I've been doing and slowly working on the hills, is that my legs felt really, really good. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. I think number 1 is that I'm working on the hills, so my legs are starting to feel stronger. But number 2, I had a couple of days rest. So I've been on holiday, come back and did them. So my legs were a little bit fresher than what they would be. But that's exciting because that's how my legs are going to feel next weekend, hopefully, when it comes to race day. So to clock those times, and of course have the worry on that 4th rep where we ran a 327 that I was going to burn out, actually we reined it right back in and got right back down to that 324, 325 mark. I'm absolutely over the moon. So what I want to do very quickly before we wrap the video up is talk about these things, why I'm choosing them, and then of course the race strategy for next weekend. So just very quickly before we talk about race strategy, let me just tell you very quickly why I'm choosing this shoe to race in next weekend over the Next Percent. So if you've been hanging around the channel for 3 or 4 months, you'll have known I've done testing between the Endorphin Pro and the Next Percent. And I kind of concluded at the time that I wanted to use this thing for any 5 and 10Ks and half marathons, and then the Next Percent for marathons. Just felt the Next Percent's cushioning lent itself a little bit better to the longer distances. Not to say I would not run a marathon in this shoe, because bloody hell, I would run a marathon in this shoe. It is phenomenal. But the Next Percent for me just had a little bit extra cushioning. My legs felt a little bit better after the long run. And I kind of thought to myself, that's the shoe that I would choose. But for anything else, the snappier, poppier option for me is this thing. It's not lighter, but it's snappier and poppier. It's not got ground contact feel, but it's firmer than the Next Percent, and I like that because I love the Hoka in a Carbon X. This sits beautifully in the middle of the 2 shoes, and slipping this thing on and getting running, it just disappears off my feet. Whereas I feel the Next Percent, I can feel the shoe there because there's so much shoe. It feels like there's a lot of shoe. As this thing, the upper on this thing is the best. It's just absolutely incredible. So it just completely disappears. So I made the right choice, especially after doing those 1k reps in this shoe. Feeling good, feeling strong. And yeah, I think it's kind of confirmed that for me, 10Ks are going to be this thing's distance. Obviously, we'll see after next weekend how it does. And if we get more 10Ks, I will race one in the Next Percent just so that I can kind of confirm my theory. But at the moment, I'm confident with my selection, and that breathes positivity into my running at the moment. And so on to the race strategy. What's my race goals? What's my goal time? What's all of that good stuff? Well, we'll talk about that now. So the Severn Bridge 10K, for those of you who don't know, who have never run on the Severn Bridge, it's a bridge, so we run up and down the other side. So it's not a flat course. It's a fast course because the bridge is fast, but it's not flat. They do night races on the Severn Bridge there in the winter, which I run. There's loads of videos on that on the channel. And I always find that I struggle in the first mile to get going, because despite feeling fast, that first uphill is quite a drainer. It drains a little bit of energy from you. So I've got to be very mindful that this is, well, hopefully it will be a PB, because my official PB is 36:01. And I know we're well past that now, having run a 34:54 in the Lydney Lakes time trial in a pan flat race. However, I have to be mindful that that first mile is going to take a lot out of me. Now, this race has a couple of dogleg turns in it, a couple of U-turns, so it's not going to be lending itself to the fastest course. What I'm most excited about is just to get racing again. So my goal for this race is to get up and over the bridge smoothly. There's then going to be some twisty turns and a little bit of lumps and bumps, a few little ups and downs, nothing major at all, but just going up some ramps onto connecting roads, going around a little bit and then turning around and coming back up and over the bridge. And so for me, what's really, really key at that moment in time is to feel strong when I hit the base of the bridge coming back over, because I know if I put myself in a good position at the base of the bridge at around mile 4, 3.5, 4, whatever it is, that I've got a really good chance of clocking a really good time. Now the downhills on the other side I tend to run quite well and I can make up a bit of ground, but in the past I've barely been able to break 6-minute miles going up and over the bridge. And I think being a little bit fitter now, it's fair for me to say that I should be in the 550s. But if you think about it, my 10k PB was run at around 5:30 something per mile. So to run a 5:50 in the first mile really does put me on the back foot, and I'm not going to make up as much time as I lose going on the downhill the other side. So the goal for me in terms of race strategy is to get times out of the window and stop thinking about PBing. That is a pressure I don't need. I just want to get the old PB, which is a 36.01. I want to get that monkey off my back and I want to run in the 35s. I'm not intending on shooting for 34 something. If it happens, it happens, but that's not in my mind. It's just to run a really strong race. I'm positive, I was trying to think of the right word then, positive split the Lydney Lake 10k so badly, running early 520s and then 540s in the second half, that I've really got it in my mind. I've got to be so sensible. Now the way this race is being run is it's a time trial and people are being released every 10 seconds. So for me, what's key as well is I'm going to be passing quite a lot of people up and over the bridge throughout the course, and people are going to be passing me. So it's going to be really easy for me to think, I was talking to Matt about this at some point, it's going to be really easy for me to think, damn, I'm passing a load of people, I must be running really well, but actually I might not be running really well. I might be running a bit slower, but because I'm passing people, the perception is that I'm doing really well. So I have to get that out of my head as well. I also have Corey, who's starting right behind me, who's going to be hot on my tails, 10 seconds behind me. I'm going to have Lee about 30 seconds in front of me because they're doing it in club name in alphabetical order of the surname. So it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to see how we do, but the race strategy is simply to play it sensibly up and over the bridge. And then if we get up and over the bridge in good time, then it's to put the hammer down at that point. I don't want to wait until the last 2 miles to put the hammer down. I want to put the hammer down when I get over the other side of the bridge at about halfway point. Once we're at that point, I can then go for it and I'll feel strong. I'm hoping the legs will feel fresh. I'm hoping the legs will feel good. And then by the time we hit the base of the bridge, which will be around 4 miles-ish, the other side is to really go for it. Because at that point, all I've got to think is that you've got 1 mile up and then the rest is all downhill and a tiny little ramp up at the end to finish. So that's the goal, that's the aim, that's the strategy. Let's see how it all pans out. Of course, it could go completely the other way. We have no idea what the weather's going to be like. Either way, I am super excited to be racing again. So thank you very much if you made it to this point in the video and listened to me waffle on. But that's my race strategy. That's why I've chosen the shoes. That was the workout. It's been a good week so far. Long run this weekend, steady long run, taper workout next week, tapering nice and easy mileage next week. And that's phase 2 of the Brecon Beacons Mountain Marathon training done. Severn Bridge 10k done, and then we are into the hardcore 6 weeks left of training for that mountain marathon. So if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.